Why do you think the area's history of militant unions and leftist politics have faded so quickly from memory?
There was a period of time when you would still see strong votes for the NDP in the 60s and into the 70s, and now it's definitely faded away. And of course in the 60s and 70s, that's because it was the retired mine workers who were still living in the area, and so you would see the strong votes for the NDP. And in the last provincial election, I didn't look at the breakdown for the Crowsnest Pass, and what's it called now? Livingston McLeod, I think, is the provincial constituency. They had a very strong environmental candidate who used to be Kevin Van Teegen, who used to be the park warden at Banff, and very articulate and very strong. And you know, he got like 30% of the vote, which isn't bad, but you know, like he didn't get the kind of votes that the NDP candidates were getting in the 60s and early 70s. And you know, times have changed. I talked to somebody in Fernie, and they were saying that the unions are victims of their own success because the poverty of the mining families of the 30s, 40s, and even into the 50s, when you know you're only working 3 shifts a week and so on, it meant that they were open to a more of a socialistic message, or at least social democratic. But now, when the mine haul drivers are making $125,000 a year, and you know the quality of life that they live is pretty good, and they've got the $50,000 snowmobiles and the $30,000 all-terrain vehicles and all this kind of stuff. I think that the more NDP vote is more from the often the professionals and the environmental outdoors people who move to the area just because the recreational opportunities are so great. The unions are in an interesting position because they changed Canada. We have a tremendous public health care system. The union movement is down, and the NDP itself is down after the last federal election. Not so much so, obviously, provincially in both Alberta and BC, but the memory is kept alive, and people realize the struggles of the past were important. My argument in my recent book is that there'll have to be new struggles which are in the spirit of the old union struggles. And I'm hopeful that new type of a labor movement will recognize that you have to get on board with that, because no matter how much money you're making today, it can be taken away tomorrow. And if you lose a $130,000 job at Elkview or at Fording River, you know, another one isn't going to be necessarily there for you. And with artificial intelligence, how many jobs will be left anyways, right? So.